गुड इवनिंग, जय हिंद। कैसे हैं आप सभी लोग? गुड इवनिंग, आई एम गुड। आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू आर डूइंग वेल। गुड इवनिंग। Okay, so good evening everyone and welcome to the session. Now, in the last week we were having this classes at 8 p.m. but now from this week onwards we will have again at the regular time, that is at 5 p.m. Okay. And we are also starting with the questions also. Like last week we were not able to practice questions, but yes, from this week we will again start the questions practice as well. Okay. So first, like the topics which we are going to discuss, two topics are not from today's newspaper, it is from last day's newspaper, that is on Sunday. On Sunday, there was some news with respect to turtles in India and also this devolution index. So these two topics are with reference to last day's paper. And just with respect to this devolution index, we also have this, sorry, not this topic. We also have a topic with respect to Panchayati Raj. Panchayati Raj. Like what are the challenges with Panchayati Raj? That is also something which we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay. But before we discuss these topics, let us have a look at like some of the questions on the basis of last week topics. Okay. So see, this is the first topic. We have discussed about this. Precedent rule, and there is a previous year question also with respect to this. If President of India exercises his power as provided under Article 356 of the Indian Constitution in respect of a particular state, then the assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. The power of the legislature of that state shall be exercisable by or under the authority of the parliament. Under Article 19 is suspended in that state. The president can make laws relating to that state. So what will happen if the precedent rule is imposed under Article 356 in a particular state? New CM in Delhi. That's good. So tell me about this part. What will happen if the president is exercising his or her power under Article 356? Okay, D option and D option. See, if we look at this, I think we have discussed about this one topic. Like when the president is imposing the precedent rule, when there is imposition of the precedent rule, in that situation, if the precedent rule is imposed in that situation, the Parliament of India will be making the laws. The Parliament will make the laws. Now, so this is one thing, like this law making power will be there for the Parliament. We have even discussed this one aspect, that what will happen when the precedent rule will be over. What will happen to those laws? So they can continue also, they can be amended also, or they can be repealed also. All these three things can be possible after this end of the precedent rule. But till the time precedent rule is there, the Parliament will assume the power to make the laws. So option B will be correct. The power of legislature of the state will be executable by the Parliament. Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure has been launched by India at New York Climate Action Summit 2019, COP21, Stockholm Summit on Sustainable Development, and United Nations Environment Assembly. Both A and B. No, it is only one can be true. Only one of them is true. If you look at the first option, the assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. This is not true. The government is dismissed. The assembly may be suspended, not necessarily dissolved. Okay. The assembly is suspended. 2, option A. Yes, in this part, I think everyone is going for option A. This is comparatively easier one. Generally, you will get this type of questions in the UPSC prelims. They have been asking when these different programs has been launched. Okay, when these different programs have been launched. So yes, this is there on New York Climate Action Summit of 2019. We have seen Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. We have seen that even there is various programs for small island developing states also, and even disaster resilience is being promoted through this institution. Okay. Now, the third question, consider the following statement with respect to UN Human Rights Office. It promotes and protects human rights globally. It was established by the UN General Assembly in December 1993. So this is question number 3. This is question number 3. Human Rights Office. Third question. I think everyone is going for option C. Yes. So, yeah, option C is correct here also. It is basically both the statements are correct here with respect to UN Human Rights Office. We have seen this is a special agency. This is a special agency of UN. Last day we have discussed about this. It is a special agency of UN established in 1993. This has recently given report about the atrocities which are being conducted in Bangladesh in the Hasina government also and in the post Hasina government also, which is under the control of Muhammad Yunus. Okay. So we have seen the reports of atrocities, the reports of human rights violation as per this organization. Okay. Now, in today's session, the one topic which we have to discuss is about the loggerhead turtles using the geomagnetic field to navigate large distances. Okay. So this story is very much important. You have seen that UPSC is asking random things or unique things about the various type of species which has been there in the news, or their unique abilities have been there in the news. So UPSC generally asks questions about it. Like we have the waggle dance for the honeybee. Okay. Now, before we go into this turtle part, I think we have discussed this in the past also. But can you tell me what is the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? Can you tell me what is the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? Anyone? What is the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? What is the difference between them? Between the tortoise and the turtles? And which one wins the race? Which of them has won the race against this rabbit? Which one won the race also? Turtle is small and tortoise is big. Okay. Which one won the race? Tell me this part. Which one have won the race? Tortoise or turtle? There was a race between a rabbit. There was a race between a rabbit and a tortoise. So, or turtle. So, which one has won? Tortoise on land and water both. Tortoise is having hard shell as compared to turtle. Okay. Tortoise. See, basically when we talk about tortoise, you will find that they are dome shaped. They are having this dome shaped, whereas turtle is somewhat flat. You will find that turtle is somewhat flat shaped, whereas tortoise is this dome shaped. The tortoise is mostly terrestrial, and it is more amphibious or more amphibian in nature. The turtle is the one which we generally see in the oceans or others. Okay. Like you have the olive ridley turtles. So they are generally living in the sea or the oceans. Okay. Now what we see that they are having hard shell. And it is also dome shaped. Whereas in this part we see that comparatively soft shell and streamlined body for swimming. They have to swim, and if they are having this dome shaped body, then swimming will be somewhat difficult for the turtle. So normally when we look at the turtles are having this streamlined shaped, or their body is comparatively flat, whereas the tortoise is having a round shape, a dome shaped, okay, and it is having a very hard shell also. Now we are discussing this topic, and if we look at the marine turtles in India, they are like this. One is the loggerhead turtle, which we are going to talk about. Loggerhead turtle. Then we have the hawksbill turtle also. This is very much famous and comparatively a larger one, leatherback turtle. Then we have camp ridley turtle also, olive ridley turtles also, green turtle, and pipeback turtle. Okay, Fiatback turtle. Okay. So this is one thing. There are 7 different type of turtles which are seen in India. Okay, leatherback, hawksbill, loggerhead, camp ridley, olive ridley, green turtle, Fiatback. Okay, so these are the turtles which flatback turtles which we generally see in India. Okay. Now these are just the marine turtles. There are even various freshwater turtles also which you can experience in India, which you can see in India. If we talk about these turtles, you will find that this olive ridley turtle, okay, it has been listed as vulnerable. Leatherback turtle is also vulnerable. Loggerhead turtle is also vulnerable. This green turtle is endangered, and hawksbill turtle is critically endangered. So normally these turtles are there, the sea turtles which are found in India. Okay. So it has been this has been tweeted by one of the IFS officers also, like the types of turtles which are there in India and their IUCN status also. Okay. So this is one thing, the different type of turtles which are found in India. Okay. Now why we are discussing this topic? We are discussing this topic because of a special research. There was a special research, and that research was about this loggerhead turtle. Okay. This was involving the loggerhead turtle, but it may be seen in other turtles also. Okay. Now, what is this experiment all about? It was simply suggesting that suppose that there are two environments. Okay. One is having food items. Let us say that one of them is having food items and another one is not having any food items. Now, if a loggerhead turtle is there in both of these ecosystem, then it receives the signal. It is going to receive this electromagnetic signal from that environment. It is getting that magnetic signal from that environment, and on the basis of it, it is able to anticipate, it is able to predict whether there is availability of food or not. Okay. So it means that these food items have a magnetic signature. The food items are having a magnetic signature which is identified by this turtle. Suppose that if they are introduced in these two ecosystems, one which is having food, another which is not having food. So when it is coming here, when this turtle will come here in this ecosystem having the food, it will start the turtle dance. It will start the turtle dance. And if it is in the other environment, it will not show any such type of movement. So that is one experiment which we have been conducted. Okay. That is one experiment which has been conducted, means they are responding to different magnetic signals. If they are getting a food type vibe, a food type like anticipation, they start to dance, which is also called as which is also called as turtle dance. Okay. So turtle dance is basically a indication of food. Indication of food. Okay. As per magnetic signature. As per magnetic signature. Means they have not reached to the food, but just by looking at the environment, they get the idea. Just by looking at the environment, they have got the idea that there may be a food present in this area. So then they are going to eat it. They are they can distinguish between the different magnetic fields. They have this capacity that they can distinguish between different types of magnetic fields. So that is their special characteristics. They can distinguish between the magnetic fields. Okay. So that is why they have been there in the news. Okay. Loggerhead turtle, which is one of the marine turtles found in India. That's why in the last day newspaper on Sunday, it was there in the news. Okay. Now, coming to the second topic, there is one topic called as devolution index. Devolution index, and this is with respect to, this one is with respect to the Panchayati Raj system. Okay. This is with respect to Panchayati Raj system. Can you tell me which amendment act is related with this and when it was passed? Which amendment act was there and when it was passed? I think this is very easy. Everyone can answer. Tell me about the date, year, when it was passed. '73rd is there, and it was passed in 1992. It was passed in 1992. Okay. So of course that is true. Now if we talk about the Panchayati Raj system, one of the main agenda was devolution of power. One of the main agenda was devolution of power. There is one schedule of Indian Constitution. There is one schedule of Indian Constitution, Schedule 11. There is Schedule 11. And in this Schedule 11, you will find that there are different lists which are mentioned here, different subjects which are mentioned here. The state governments, they were supposed to devolve these functions to the panchayats. Okay. So it contains, this was to be provided. It was to be provided to panchayats by state. It means the state government was supposed to give these lists or give these subjects to the panchayats so that they can deal with this, they can deal on these subjects, they can start making policies with respect to that, and all other things. Okay. So now we see that there is this devolution index. There is this devolution index. Devolution index. It has been prepared by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. It has been prepared by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Ministry of Panchayati Raj. And what we see that Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Okay. Now what we see that it has identified 6 criteria. It has identified 6 criteria. These criteria are like framework, funds and finance. First 3F, framework, funds and finances. Okay. Then there is 3 other part: accountability, functionaries and capacity building. Accountability, functionaries and capacity building. Functionaries, accountability and capacity building. So these are the different criteria about the framework, function, finance, functionaries, accountability and capacity building. So on these criteria, this index has been prepared. Now, who has ranked where? Let us try to understand this. In the framework section, it is Kerala. In the framework section, Kerala has topped here. Okay. In the framework section, Kerala has won this list. Okay. Overall, if we talk about this, overall, in this we have Karnataka as the winner. Overall, Karnataka has secured the first position in the devolution index. Okay. This devolution index is basically assessing the different states on how much their Panchayati Raj system has been empowered. On what criteria? The framework, the function, the finance, functionaries, accountability and capacity building. On these parameters, they are evaluating the panchayats, and Karnataka has topped in that list. Okay. Even if we talk about the different segments, in framework, it is Kerala. In function, it is Tamil Nadu. In finance, it is Karnataka. Then capacity building, Telangana. Functionaries, Gujarat. And accountability, Karnataka. Okay. So what we see that the major states which has given more power or more development of Panchayati Raj systems are mostly again the developed states. Okay. Mostly again the developed states. So this is also a reflection of how much democracy is getting matured at these levels. It is the developed states again here which have been able to empower the panchayats more and more. Okay. Not the many other states of Eastern India, although Uttar Pradesh has been there in terms of accountability, but in all other portions you will find that it is mostly the southern states or western states. Okay. So again what we see that most of the states who have been able to devolve the power, it was to be done by the state government. It was not to be done by the union government. It was to be done by the state government. So we have seen that the eastern states, they have not been able to develop their Panchayati Raj system much more. They are focused on concentrating their entire power to themselves only. The panchayats have been, the role of panchayats have been minimalized. Their role is up to a minimum level. Their role is up to a very minimum level. That is one of the challenge. Okay. So this is one devolution index. Now, just with respect to this one topic, we are going to talk one more thing. Then after we will come to the AI tool. Okay. We are going to discuss one more editorial with respect to this Panchayati Raj. Okay. This editorial was there the Panchayati Raj movement is in distress. This is the editorial in today's newspaper with respect to Panchayati Raj. So we are going to talk about this also. But before we go into this, that what is the editorial saying, that what are the challenges of Panchayati Raj system, let us try to understand that why we have started this local self-government, what was the objective. Let us try to talk about this first. Okay. So objective, what was the idea? Why we have started this Panchayati Raj? Okay. Why we have started this Panchayati Raj, and how this Panchayati Raj has gradually just became a constitutional mandate. It has just remained there as just the bookish part of our constitution. It is not in the same manner as it was expected, as it was believed to change the grassroots level of governance in India. Okay. So let us try to see the objectives, like what were the main thing. It was based on the concept of democratic decentralization. Democratic decentralization. That was the idea here. Democratic decentralization. Like, we will have this decentralization of power from Delhi to villages. From Delhi to villages, from the state's capital to villages. That was the idea. It was also on the concept of Swaraj. Swaraj concept of Mahatma Gandhi, that people should have this power to govern themselves. People should have this power to govern themselves. It was based on that concept of Swaraj. During our entire national movement, we were talking about this, that we want Swaraj, we want Swaraj. And when we got our own independence, of course, at that time in 1947, the situation was not very much mature. But by 1993, the situation became better. In the present times, there must be, in the present times, if we look at this, there is a much more better condition. The Panchayati Raj system should have been more empowered than what they are in the present times. So that concept of Swaraj is missing somehow. Okay. There was also one goal. This goal was political participation. There was a goal of political participation. There was a goal that we will have this political participation of all the people. Democracy is not run by institutions. Democracy is not simply run by some institutions. Democracy is running, or democracy is operating at the maximum efficiency when people are there, when people are democratically doing all the activities. In a democracy, the work of the citizens is not just about voting. In a democracy, the citizens have to participate. This was one of the tools of democratic participation. Okay. It was also having a goal of empowerment of sections of societies. Empowerment of society. That was also one of the goals. Empowerment of the society. When Britishers were there in India, what was the concept? There was a concept of masters and slaves. The Britishers used to treat themselves as masters and Indians as their slaves. Now, this was the same thing which we wanted to change through our constitution. We wanted to become the masters of our own country, our own nation. But what we see again, that this political empowerment was there as a concept of our 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay. Then there was also a concept, maturing of democracy. Mature democracy. We also wanted to have this mature democracy, a democracy in which people can think and talk about different issues, a democracy in which people can participate in various electoral processes. They can be motivated toward this that how democracy operates for them, how democracy is going to function for them. This was the objective. This was the objective of our 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, Panchayati Raj systems. Okay. But then, what challenges are there? Just let us see some facts with respect to this, that what challenges are there. What challenges are there? One of the major challenge, we were talking about the devolution index. We have seen that 11th schedule of the Constitution provides for 29 subjects which were supposed to be devolved to the panchayats. The panchayats were the one which were supposed to make policies with respect to those 29 subjects. But what we see here, that only 20% of the states have devolved all 29 subjects. Okay. So only 20%. Only 20% of states devolved all 29 subjects. So what we see, that only 20% of the states have devolved all these 29 subjects to the panchayats. Rest 80% of them have not devolved all the subjects to the panchayats. It has been now like more than 32 years. It has been more than 32 years. And even in these 32 years, we have not been able to devolve 29 subjects in all the 29 states of India. So that is one of the challenge. Second thing is the center roles, the role of the union. Okay. Now what we see, that now the Union of India is directly making this like grants to the state, sorry, to the what we can say, to this Panchayati Raj system. They are making this direct transition or direct grants to the Panchayati Raj system. Now what is happening, that like they are surpassing, or they are like bypassing this state government. The state government was supposed to bypass, the state government was supposed to devolve the fund. But what we have done instead, that center has directly transferred it to the panchayats. Okay. It has directly transferred it to the panchayats, bypassing the states. Okay. So direct transfer to panchayats. So this is affecting our federal system. It was the states which should have been devolving this, but now it is going directly through the union. Plus, from the union, there is another thing. Now we are having direct benefit transfer. Direct benefit transfer. So what we see, that we are having like various schemes. For example, Panchayati, for example, Manrega, MG Narega, or when we are having this scheme of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now, earlier, what was happening, that all these schemes and other things were getting devolved, or it was being provided to the people through the panchayats. Okay. So earlier there was a role of panchayat. There was a role of Gram Sabha in deciding the projects, in deciding the beneficiaries. But now there is direct benefit transfer. So there is no role of panchayats. There is no role of panchayats. So their role has already gone. Plus, at the same time, what we see that yes, 6,000 to farmers also. Okay. Now what we see, that there is also an increasing urbanization, 40% urban population. 40% urban population. So this population is also increasing in the urban areas. And now the major focus is on reforms of municipalities, okay, not on the Panchayati Raj system. So focus is there on focus on municipal reform. The focus is there on municipal reform, okay, not on the Panchayati Raj system. These are some of the challenges which we are seeing in the present time. Okay. Now, what is the result of this? What is the implication of this? One of the implication is decline in public participation. Decline in public participation. Now, Gram Sabha, just for example, you know that Gram Sabha is one of those units which is mentioned in the constitution also. Okay, which is mentioned in the constitution also, but now it is not that much functional. Gram Sabha, if you look at this, in many of the states, Gram Sabha has no such meetings. They are just having those 2 meetings per year. Otherwise, then Gram Sabha is making no such work there. Gram Sabha is not having meetings. Gram Sabha is not deciding the agendas. Just having a few people will not constitute the Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha means all the registered voters of a particular panchayat area. They are the part of the Gram Sabha. But Gram Sabha participation has decreased enormously. Okay. Then, now there is this over dependence on centrally sponsored scheme. You will find that in the present times, the government is running a number of centrally sponsored scheme. Now, generally, just see at this one part. Union government is supposed to look at mostly the matters with respect to the this union list, like those which are of national matters and other things. But union government is getting engaged in almost all sort of activities, be it cylinder distribution, or if it is subsidy on fertilizer, subsidy on seeds, subsidy on any other thing, okay, or direct benefit transfer in this case or that case. So government of India, the union government, is getting engaged in all sort of smaller things. Okay. They could have been done by the state governments also. If they are having the fund, they could have done the same thing. Okay. Or it could have come in a sort of directions for the states that what they have to do for the welfare of the tribal people. The parliament could have made a law for this. But what we say instead, that the government of India is launching a number of centrally sponsored schemes, and thus it is reducing the role of the panchayats as well as the state government. Okay. So we see that now there is this centrally sponsored scheme that is becoming more popular, that is becoming the main theme. Panchayats are having no such role in deciding any policy or anything. That is also one of the challenge. Okay. The another challenge is, now in many of the states, what we also see that there is now engagement of political parties in the Panchayati Raj system. Okay. So what we see that entry of political parties, in panchayat. Panchayat elections were supposed to be free from any political groups or affiliations. The panchayat elections were supposed to be free from any such political affiliations or national parties. Now, national parties are contesting panchayat elections. National parties are contesting panchayat elections in various states. So that is becoming one of the challenge. It was supposed to be a movement of the people. It was supposed to be a Swaraj initiative where people can participate even if they are not of a single party or other parties. So when the national parties will come into the foray, when they will come into this forum, what will happen? The voices of the common people will again be again remain unheard. They will not be able to come to the forefront. They will not be able to contest the election. In many of the states where there is no such entry of the political parties yet, you will find that anyone and everyone is going to the elections. Now you can say that yes, people from any state can still have this participation in election when there is political party also. But then we have to see one more part. In our parliament also, anyone can contest election. But the challenge is the people will generally prefer some political parties. Why? Because they know that a government will be formed by the political parties, not the independent MPs or MLAs. So normally people will go for some of the political parties. Now when they are coming into this Panchayati Raj forum, what is going to again happen, that at intermediate level and at district level, they will again start having the same grouping and all thing, political party pressure and all, and it will ruin this essence of grassroots democracy at the local level. So this participation of political parties in Panchayati elections, that is also one of the challenge. That is also one of the challenge. Okay. So you know that Panchayati Raj is already having those issues of fund, function, functionaries and functionality. Fund, function, functionaries and functionalities. Apart from that, these challenges and other challenges are also there. Okay. Now, what is the way forward here? Can you tell me that how we can make our panchayats empowered? The way forward for panchayats. Can you tell me what can be the possible way forward for the panchayats? What can be the possible way forward for our panchayats? What can be the possible way forward for our Panchayati Raj system? Reform. Yes, like what type of reform? Mediator of government policy. Okay. One thing is you can again have reinstatement or like this Gram Sabha. This Gram Sabha, it has to be revitalized. It has to be reformed. It has to be now reinforced. Okay, so that is one thing. Now there is one more challenge, like in some of the states, what is happening that the state governments are making the district administration superior to Panchayati Raj system. In some of the states, the administrators who are there, the DM and all who are there, so they consider them superior to the Panchayati Raj system. Even though Panchayati Raj system is a like representing the people, but the district administration considers them to be superior. They think that they can direct the panchayat what they have to do and what they don't have to do. But this was not the concept. The concept was simply this: the Gram Sabha will decide, it will tell the district administrator what to do, what not to do. But it is going in the reverse way. The DM are now telling the panchayats that what you have to do, what is good for you, you cannot decide, I am deciding it for you. Okay. So it is going by the same mentality, the white man's burden theory, which Britishers were having, that we know what is good for India, you are Indian people, you don't know anything. Okay. So that was the same mentality in the colonial time. Now in some of the states, the same mentality is again there, that the bureaucracy thinks that Panchayati Raj system is not evolved enough. They are not good enough to take the decisions. So their decisions is taken by the bureaucracy. Okay. That is also one thing. The bureaucratic influence. The bureaucratic influence has to be minimized. Has to be minimized. Then again, yes, of course, the influence of the political parties, that has to be controlled. Okay. Influence of political parties, that has to be reduced. It also has to be reduced. Then again, those challenges which are there, fund, function and functionaries. Okay. So there must be some legal setups to ensure the smooth flow of fund, the proper devolution of function and the appointment of functionaries. Okay. So that three challenges, the 3F, okay, legal setup for fund, function and functionaries, that has to be also ensured. And at the same time, while we are providing them to panchayats, it must be at the same time adjusted with the accountability of these panchayats. Okay. So next thing which we also require here is the accountability. Accountability. Okay. So again, these are the things which are required by the Panchayati Raj system as of the present time. Okay. That their accountability has to be ensured. Okay. So for Panchayati Raj system, we require these changes in the present times. Okay. Now, I hope this part is clear. So after this, let me show you one thing. So this is one plant and there is a device on it. This is one plant in a forest and there is a device on it. Can you identify what is the role of this? This is one of the device which has been installed on the plants in Simlipal. We have discussed about Simlipal. Can you tell me in which state we have this Simlipal and why this is famous? Can you tell me where we are having this Simlipal and why this Simlipal is famous? Give me some unique content about this Simlipal. Then I will talk about this one. Tell me about this one. What is this Simlipal? Why this Simlipal is famous? Tiger. Okay, yes, tiger is there, but what type of tiger? There is a speciality here. There is a speciality here. What type of tiger is there? We have discussed about Simlipal many a times. We have discussed about this Simlipal at least 2-3 times. Okay. This is famous for the black tigers. Sorry. This is famous for the black tigers. The pseudo-melanistic tigers which are there, it is there in Odisha. It is there in Odisha. You will find that this one Simlipal has got 12 tigers here. Sorry, 12 small rivers. 12 small rivers pass through this. It is part of elephant reserve also. It is a part of elephant reserve also. It is a biosphere reserve also. It is a biosphere reserve also. It is a tiger reserve also. Okay. So this Simlipal is famous for even the Semul tree. The Semul tree is also very much famous in this area. So now this one device which you are seeing here, it is basically your AI camera. AI based camera. This is called as a AI based camera. And this has been installed not only in Simlipal, but it has been installed in at least 5 states in 14 different locations, 14 different national parks or protected areas. Okay. So it is called as Trail Guard AI. It is called as Trail Guard AI. Trail Guard AI. So this is a camera, AI based camera, and why it has been set up? It has been set up to track. This has been set up to track poachers in this area. Okay. So these cameras, if we look at this, they will identify people or wildlife in forest. It will identify people or wildlife in forest, and on the basis of this, this AI based tool is also going to identify the poachers, those who are hunting the animals. Those who are hunting the animals, they are going to be identified by these AI based cameras. It will detect their face. It will detect their face. It will alert the forest department about the intrusion of poachers. It will alert the forest department about the intrusion of poachers in the forest area. Okay. So that's why these cameras have been installed, and they have helped to get around 96 poachers in the last 10 months. Okay. In the last 10 months, they have been helpful in arrest of 96 poachers. They have been arrested. Okay. So they are identifying the poachers in this area, and then the forest department is getting the idea that okay, who were there in the forest, who were there in the forest, who were hunting it. So that is the main aim here. Okay. Now this is normally in a standby mode, so it doesn't gets too much of battery. It doesn't need that much of battery supply and other things. But as soon as it gets some human movement or it gets some animal movement, then it is able to take a picture. Okay. And then if it is necessary, this AI based camera will transmit that image to the forest department also. Okay. So it is not sending everyone's image to the forest department. If it is getting an image of a person who has already been identified as a poacher by the forest department, then it will just match the database with that photo and then it will send it to the forest department. So that forest department can then go and catch those people. Okay. So that is the idea here. But of course, this is one of the good thing, but there is a challenge also. Okay. What is the challenge? There is a challenge also. The challenge is one thing. Many a times, the AI system also has some challenges. So many a times they have identified common villagers who are not poachers. Okay. So this surveillance, this has become a challenge for. Okay. This has become a challenge for the tribal people. They are not able to go to the forest to collect the wood. Okay. For the tribal people, if they have to collect wood from the forest or the minor forest produce, if they have to collect the minor forest produce or the wood from the forest, which is their right also under the Forest Right Act 2006. It is the right of the tribal groups to go inside the forest and collect the minor forest produce. But these cameras can mistake sometimes the villagers for the poachers. The challenge can be enormous for the villagers. Plus, this continuous surveillance has led to many people not going to forest now. So there is one challenge. It is violating the right guaranteed to the tribals by the law. So that is one of the challenge which we see in the present times. Otherwise, this is helping to reduce the poaching of animals in the forest region. Okay. So that is one thing. Trail Guard AI. Trail Guard AI has been installed in Indian protected areas for catching the poachers. Last time, there was this one important thing. In India, there was use of this M stripes. M stripes. It was one of the way to calculate the tiger population. So on the basis of this, UPSC has asked this question that why this M stripes has been used. So now we have got this trail guard AI. So they can ask the similar question, what is the utility of this trail guard AI? So it is there to track the poachers in the forest areas of India. I hope it is clear. I hope this is clear. What is trail guard AI? Okay, so these were the 4 topics for today. First, we have seen the first topic which we have seen is about the turtles. We have seen this turtle topic. We have seen what is the difference between a tortoise and a turtle. We have seen the different type of turtles which are there in India. Okay. Then we have seen the devolution index, the issues of Panchayati Raj system, and also this trail guard AI. From tomorrow, we will start also getting the environment related questions from June 2024. Okay. So from tomorrow, we will start this June 24 month current environment questions also. Okay. Apart from the questions on daily topics, we will start that environment related questions also. Okay. I am political science student, but I'm not getting better videos regarding my subject. Ayushi, about videos, I may not be able to suggest about the videos, but if you want to like just go through this political science, I will suggest you go through the IGNOU materials. They are quite comprehensive. They will help you to understand the topics in a better manner. Okay. So I suggest that go through the IGNOU materials. That will be helpful. M-Stripe is basically a tool. It is a mobile-based tool to identify the tigers. So M-Stripe was used in 2016 for estimation of the tigers population in India. So that is a mobile tool for identifying and geotagging this like tiger population. Okay. Yes, Anjali, you can ask. In English medium. Okay, I will suggest this to team. Okay. Yes, Anjali, you can ask your question. Ayush, PSI optional, like yes, for PSI optional only I am suggesting you that go through IGNOU materials. It is about the same thing. In optional you have to read the graduation and post graduation books only. So before writing the answer, I remember what I have to write, but when I start writing, you forget it, right? Okay. This may be one of the challenge because of lack of revision. So when you are writing something like Anjali, just do one more thing. Like we have done this answer writing session, to just try to go through that also, and from there you will get the idea that how to begin your answer. Second thing is, many a times it may be a challenge that when you are starting the answer, you may not be able to recall many things. So first try to make a structure of it. First try to make a structure and then try to write according to that structure. If you directly start writing, you may get confused what point to put first, what to write later. So just make a structure first, collect all the ideas in your mind, make a structure first in 1 or 1.5 minutes, and then start writing the answer. That is one thing which you can do. Revise it also. Plus, like how to start your introduction and conclusion. You can go through the previous classes. We have done this answer writing session also. Okay. So from there you can get this. Yes, Ayush, that is up to you. You can take any such PSI batch. Okay. 2027. But 26 I have already given. 2027 is so much long time away. just start with NCERT and current affairs. That will be sufficient. For 2027, start with NCERT, current affairs. That is sufficient. You don't have to worry about anything else. NCERT and current affairs will be sufficient. Okay. And then we will discuss about it. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's meet in the next session for 2028. Go and slip. Nothing else. Okay. So after 2 years, we will meet for 2028. Now, let's meet tomorrow in the morning at 8 a.m. We will discuss some of the questions with respect to polity. And tomorrow in the evening at 5 p.m. again, we will discuss the current affairs. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. All the best. Thank you.